Myya is the first and only fully encompassing post-mastectomy care brand. We offer breast prosthesis fittings, post-mastectomy bra fittings, both in person and online. We also use 3D printing to create custom breast prosthetics that come in 36 different skin tones. We are the most inclusive breast care brand on the market. I normally say that we're the Warby Parker of boobs because most people are used to the process of buying glasses online or even going to their doctor for a video visit. Our experience is just like that, but it's for women who've experienced breast cancer or lumpectomies or full mastectomies for them to purchase their bras and breast forms. We have a free 7-day try on, so you can get it to your house, try it on with your clothes, decide which sizes work best for you, which style of bras work best, send back any that don't work, and then you only pay your insurance for what you decide to keep. I was inspired to build this business after watching my grandmother experience breast cancer. And I remember so distinctly watching her walk into medical supply stores and it's smelling like Bengay. And she's passing by aisles of bedpans and adult diapers and laxatives. And that's where she's expected to shop for post mastectomy bras and breast forms for the rest of her life. And I remember seeing that as a little girl and thinking that someone should do something about that. It should be better than that. We all know someone who've experienced breast cancer, but we don't really know where they shop after their surgeries. So I knew that someone should do it. And eventually, very long story short, it ended up becoming me and my business partner, Dr. Regina Hampton. I would definitely say I'm most proud of the fact that we've served over 20,000 customers to date. And that number keeps growing. And the best thing about our business is that we're able to serve these patients for the rest of their life. So if you've experienced breast cancer, you're eligible for bras and breast forms covered by your health insurance plan by federal law. So it's really important for me to make sure that women know their rights and that they're maximizing their health insurance benefits. So being able to touch 20,000 and letting them know of these opportunities is really important. I'd also say raising over $2 million in venture capital has been huge for us. I'm one of the first and few Black women to do so. It's so few of us. So knowing that I'm inspiring the next group of women and opening that door for founders is really important for me too. And I would say maybe like ending a stigma and taboo around discussions around breast health, breast cancer, or even breast in general is really important to me. And knowing that we're making a mark in that space as innovators has been a huge blessing for me. So we opened our doors in Breast Cancer Awareness Month of 2018. So then we were able to accept insurance in March of 2019. And by the time we were really getting our footing, the pandemic came and closed our doors. But right before then was when I had the opportunity to meet with investors and we got our first check. I won a pitch competition and we got our first $100,000 check. So being really open-minded and strategic with that $100,000 is what kept us through the pandemic. So even though our doors were closed during COVID, I was in that store packing and shipping orders and doing deliveries for online fittings. And that is really what created Myya, like having no option but to figure out how to make a way with what I had is what kept our business and how we survived. So it was, definitely a blessing. There was a bit of a silver lining in there, and that we were able to pivot and turn the business into something so beautiful. Initially, before the pandemic, we were a thriving boutique. We were able to do fittings 7 days a week in store. We were able to take walk-ins even, but during the pandemic, everything stopped. And back then, we initially thought that this was going to last 2 weeks, that the pandemic was going to last 2 weeks. We were going to reopen. So I remember pushing all the inventory into the back of the store so it was hidden because I was like, oh, we'll just come back 2 weeks later and it'll be fine. I'll take a rest or something. But it did not turn out that way. So when we were closed, we just wanted to really engage our customers. So we started doing like pajama parties and mental health check-ins on Zoom with our patient base. And then we started having patients who were saying, okay, I still need bras and breast forms even though I am at home. Can you help me? And Medicare guidelines were relaxed so that we could start to do telehealth fittings. So it was me on Zoom with measuring tape. And I'm like showing them how to measure themselves, packing and shipping orders from the store and then dropping them off in my car like I'm Uber for boobs or something. And I was recording videos to teach them how to put their breast prosthesis into their bra and dropping them off right at their doorstep and then sending them the link for the videos. And then I realized, okay, I could make a business out of this. I could scale this into something bigger. So I think it was after about 90 customers that I did that, that I started bringing that opportunity to investors. And that idea was what took off. So I was pregnant towards the end of 2021. I had a baby in early 2022. And it was at the same time that I was raising capital. But to be honest, I thought maybe my investors wouldn't take me as seriously raising while pregnant. I thought maybe they would feel like I was distracted. I thought I thought that even back when I got a puppy. I was like, I'm scared to tell them I got a puppy because I don't want them to think that that I'm not focused 100% on my business. I remember thinking that when I got a puppy. So I was like, God, what are they going to feel when I have a child and I'm starting a family, and all these things. But I saw another founder do it successfully, and that's when I knew it could be done. Her name is Cameron. She's the founder of Poppy, and we're very close friends. And she was raising, and I asked her, I said, what did your investors think about you fundraising during your pregnancy? And she said, you know what? Many of them told me that they felt like I was taking this more seriously because I had a legacy to protect. So once she told me that and that it was possible, I said, okay, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna do it. So I was probably close to delivering when I actually told a lot of people because most of the conversations were happening over Zoom. So from the chest up, and I just didn't feel it was super necessary. But once I started telling people that I was raising and that I was expecting, to be honest, I feel like I did still let some of them down. I kind of got that disappointed vibe. But I just knew we weren't going to slow down. And in hindsight, I probably should have just taken a moment to really, really focus on being a mom in the early times. I didn't have maternity leave at all. I gave birth on Thursday. I was back on calls on Monday. I do not recommend that. It was a terrible experience in doing it that way. So I wish I could do it again and like take 6 weeks off. But at the time, just with circumstance in life, I couldn't. But I would still say for any founder, you can do it, but just make sure you're prioritizing yourself and your health because that goes or should go above any other company, any other person. It should be about you and your baby during that important time. It's so unfortunate. You get a lot of people who tout that it's so important. Founder mental health. You have to, balance. But then they're the same ones pressuring you when they know the things you're going through. Those are two mixed messages where on one hand you're telling me that I need to protect myself and look out for myself and look out for my family, and then another moment you're like barraging me with requests. Um, I think that kind of comes with the territory of being a founder, though.
Mhm.
All that additional responsibility, especially if you have a small team, because the responsibility goes back on you. And apparently, there's supposed to be some big payoff in the end when we have these successful companies, right? So at some point, you're supposed to see all the fruits of your labor and you get to enjoy it. So I just pray for every founder and that they continue to stay strong. But the real conversations I hear with founders is that it's incredibly difficult and a lot of people are just putting on brave faces. Myya is up and to the right. We're growing, and it hasn't always been easy at all. But I'm so glad because I now see like a bit of the break and the sunshine coming. So we just closed a partnership, or not too long ago, with Dr. Jackie of Married to Medicine. We have transitioned our business from doing our brick and mortar experience of Cherry Blossom Intimates to now doing pop-ups across the USA. We do pop-ups now between 12 and 14 times a month in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. That has been wonderful for us, and we're offering telehealth fitting, so the virtual visits. So that keeps us busy. I love it too because it lessens the overhead of having a brick and mortar, right? So you don't have these monthly payments that we used to have. So that allows our business to go a lot further and do greater good. Beyond that, we've signed a very big partnership with a major department store, which has been a long time coming, but I'm so grateful that it's now happening. The great team at Repost has helped us with doing the photography for that. So definitely keep an eye out and look for that online. I can't wait to share more details about that. I can't say who it is now, but it's a big one. If you have a favorite department store, it's probably them. And so we're really grateful for that. In the coming months, we'll be doing more pop-ups across the USA, going into Atlanta with Dr. Jackie and then some other locations. So we're on the rise.